and as you can see, everything is upgrading. Yep. What's good, YouTube? Target here, and welcome to another episode of Design and Manage, my City Skylines Unmodded Let's Play series. On the last episode we have decorated this public transport hub, and we've made it so there's actually quite a lot of people using it, which is quite satisfying. And on this episode we are going to fix some small details on our city. We have reached a point where our city is ready for expansion, but before we do that, we need to stabilize it as much as we can and prepare it for future expansion. And I'm gonna dedicate this episode for that. So without further ado, let's jump back into action. Before we even do anything, I would like to show you this. So on the last episode, we noticed that we had quite a bit of difficulty on getting this industry to zone, but apparently on this episode, it just built itself. I simply loaded the game and the industry just started building itself, which is just unexpected, I guess. But anyway, I just wanted to share this with you before doing anything, and without further ado, let's actually do some work. Alright, one of the things that I want to take care, or at least address on this episode, is the levels that we have around our city, the zoning levels. As you can see, most of the residential is actually level 4, which is represented by this slightly dark green on the pie chart. And we can also see a lot of buildings like that over here. And if you click on them, you will see that all of them are almost at level 5. And the only thing that is preventing them is actually the low land value. This is actually quite a waste because you will get a much higher tax income if your residential is at level 5 instead of level 4. And I believe if we can up the level by placing some parks, we will actually make more money in the long term. If you look here, you will see that these residential buildings are the only ones in our city which are actually at level 5. And the reason for that is because they actually have a ton of parks right in the middle to boost up that land value. And I think that's what we're going to do on this episode. We are actually going to go around our city and try to upgrade everything to level 5 in terms of residential, of course. Here on industry we will actually have to follow a different strategy, but I will show you in a couple of minutes. Alright, so starting off, I think I can put a small playground right on this spot. I think it's a tremendously good location for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and place it. Good. It also looks very good. As you can see, we had a devastating forest fire that annihilated our entire park, and this will take a long time to rebuild, but oh well, that's what we have. And let's see how this park affected the land value of the city. It didn't seem to have made a lot of difference, so let's go ahead and place some more parks. I'm also gonna put a large playground right in this location, kind of like so. I think it turned out very good, and I think I can put another one. Actually, this is very tight. Maybe just a small playground. Yes, and another one over here. Okay. Actually, I think I can move this one. Oh, and I already hear some buildings upgrading. That's good. Let me just place this over here, and we'll rebuild this connection later on. But yeah, a lot of things are upgrading, so let's check it out. Alright guys, I've done quite a bit of work, so let me show you what I've done. First of all, I've put this a sports hall and gymnasium. I think it actually fits very well on this particular location. Then I've also just placed some parks randomly. I've placed these two playgrounds, and I've also placed this shelter that this part of the city was in need of, and I've also placed a small police station. And the result was that we managed to get some of the buildings to level 5. I think they're not quite nice, even though we have still some buildings in need of that. So yeah, what I think I'm gonna do now is go around our entire city, do the same on this part and this one, and also on this part of the city over here. As you can see, there's a lot of work that we still need to do in here. So without further ado guys, I'm gonna work on that and I'm gonna meet you in a couple of minutes. Okay, I've been doing quite a bit of work off camera, and I think I was able to do quite a decent job. As you can see, I've upgraded all of these to level 5, except for this one. These do not want to upgrade for whatever reason, but I think when I place the monorail station over here, they will have no choice but to upgrade. And yeah, all of this part is also level 5 on the residential, and on this part, this was actually the most challenging part to upgrade. I had to place quite a bit of parks, and I also modified the bus lines completely. I've placed a lot more lines, and I've made them actually shorter. Well, even though some of them are quite long, but at least they're shorter than what they used to be. I used to have like 3 major lines on this area, and now I have like 6 or 7 of them, something like that. And I was able to upgrade quite a bit. I had a lot of buildings on level 2 and 3, and I've got this part to level 5, and most of them are level 4. And I think I'm gonna keep it like that. This is just a normal suburb district, so I don't think there's a point in spending too much money on parks to upgrade a low density residential district to level 5. I don't think it justifies the cost. Okay, now moving on to the industrial sector. This one I will have to follow a different strategy. Sparks make very little difference over here. As you can see, we have some buildings level 3 already, just as I predicted on the last episode, and I think I can't force them to go level 3 just by placing a few fire stations or so. In this part of the city, however, I think I will upgrade these buildings by placing a cargo harbor. And I think that's something we can do on this episode. So yeah, let's work on that, shall we? Okay, starting off with this part, I think A small fire station will do the work, and I will put it kind of like, I'm gonna put it over here and dezone this part, and hopefully it will help some buildings upgrade to level 3. Let's see. Yeah, there we go, it seems to be working just fine. Okay, and now let's move on to place the cargo harbor. And I think I want to make a small, what do you call it? A land block over here in the middle of the river. I just don't want to put it right next to the shoreline. I think that's boring. So I think I want to do something interesting. And yeah, let's just pause the simulation. Let's delete this part over here and let's see what we can do. Maybe let's come over here. Yeah. Let's just make... oh, I need more soil. I can get it around over here. Let's go, spending all our money on this. Always a good thing. Not really. Okay, that's enough soil. And let's keep going. Okay, that's great. And I wonder if I have to lower the terrain. Let me just select the thing. This is the cargo harbor, good. And well, we'll try it with this height level and we'll see what happens. Let's just resume this to let the game adjust to the new water level, or let the water level stabilize, so to say. Everything will get flooded. I think I want to do this a bit bigger. Let's just go all out on this. Okay, now let's make a interesting layout, shall we? I think I need to delete this. Let's just pause the simulation because I'm making some major damage. It's never a good thing. And let's... oh, yeah, well, we need to resume the simulation and let it adjust once more. Okay, I think this is the shape that I want to take. So let's just put everything back to normal. This part of the terrain, like this. There we go. And let's connect this road over here. Good. Let's resume the simulation once more. I think we can continue this over here. And let's try to place the cargo hub, shall we? Okay, I finally managed to place this thing. And I had to delete the road because it was giving me quite a bit of problem, but eventually I managed to do it. So let's just connect everything back again. See if I can make a small curve. Good, there we go. And the same over here. And let's just adjust the terrain a bit. Let's resume everything back again, and hopefully nothing bad happens. And as you can see, everything is upgrading. Yep. This is exactly what this part of the city needed. And before I forget, I need to give this thing a bit of water. And it also needs some power. And I think I can power it by... well, let's just place a small power line for now. Good, and we shall now start seeing some boats. There we go, there goes the cargo ship. Actually, how much cargo is it carrying? 20%, okay. It's because it's relatively new. And yeah, people seem to be using it quite a bit. This one is at 60% already, not bad. Oh wow, people are using it a lot, really. That's amazing. Now that we have placed this cargo harbor, I think we can maximize the potential of this, or for the land value, by zoning a few more industrial. And I can zone this entire thing over here, and I think I can also put a small pathway over here to prevent zoning. Alright guys, and with this I think it's finally time for us to expand our city. We have a lot of demand for residential, and I think it's finally time for us to satisfy this demand. I was actually planning to wait until we had developed our road layout a bit more to the northern part of the city, but since we already have this particular area zoned in, or not zoned in, but with the roads already laid upon, I think we can go ahead and just zone it with some more residential. So without further ado, let's just work on that. Okay, first of all, before doing anything, before placing any buildings, I wanna plan out how I want my pathway network to be. And I know I will want this particular pathway to come over here. Is it a straight angle? Yes, it is. Good, like this. Make a crosswalk between the two districts. And what do we want to do over here? Maybe come over here. I need to disable this. Okay. And maybe let's come about over here and let's connect it to this part. Or maybe we can just delete this and go directly to the ground level. Okay, and the same over here. If it lets me, it doesn't seem to be wanting to do that. That's fine, we'll just do it over here, and we'll do the same on this side. Okay, and we can also make some connections over here and over here. Okay, good, and we should continue this pathway over here. Okay, we'll make an off point over here, and I think I will want to continue over there. Actually, let me delete this. Come over here, and here will be the place where I will connect to the other part of the city. Good, and we'll make a small off point around here. Okay, I don't like how this road makes this very straight angle over here on the park, so I think I'm gonna modify that a little bit. Maybe we can do a much more interesting shape if we do it like this. Let me check. Yeah, I think that's much better. Let's just fix all the stuff we have destroyed. Very good. And let's work on that pathway, shall we? You know what? I think I'll just come about over here. Okay. And do the same stuff I've done over here. Let me just expand this part of the terrain a bit. And do something along the lines of this. Okay. Let's just keep going with this. That's very good. And like, let's go to the ground level. Good. And we can eventually connect with this particular pathway. Is this the pedestrian pathway or the cycling road? Yeah, it's the pedestrian pathway. The cycling one has these green marks on it. So we can just come over here. Let's see if I can do this without touching the pillars and do a smooth connection. Yeah, that works. That works quite alright. And I will actually continue the pathway through this narrow pathway over here, and I will just connect this over here. Okay, that's good. And we should also modify the terrain a bit. This off point is very interesting. Sometimes it is flowing very nicely in here in terms of traffic, and other times, like the moment we're watching right now, it seems that we have quite a bit of traffic congestions. I don't know what's that all about, but yeah, that's very interesting. Alright guys, I've already piped down this entire thing with water, and I think it's finally time for us to start zoning. First of all, I have provided a power connection for obvious reasons, and I think the first thing we can do is place a park over here to serve as a conductor of electricity. And I need to find a good park, of course. Okay, these two parks will work very nicely. And yeah, let's start zoning. I will want all of this to be high density residential. Also all of this and this and this and this and this and this, and pretty much all of this, and this block over here as well, and also here. Okay, this area is developing quite nicely. We have no more demand for residential. I think I'm done with this area for now. I just want to provide it with the most important services, the most important service of all, which is education. And I'm gonna place an elementary school right over here. Okay. And that will fit this location for the time being, just to get that education rolling in, as it is something that takes a long time to develop. Wow. Really? I totally wasn't paying attention to this part of the city, and look what happens. Yeah. And the funny thing about this is that it was right next to the fire watchtower, which is just... the game is just making fun of me at this point, pretty much. And here's a shot of our city at night. I figured out it has been quite a long time since you have seen this, so yeah, here we go. Let's take a small tour around our city. So this is our first residential district, the first district that we have ever built. This is how it looks at nighttime. It's funny, you cannot even notice the fire area, the burned out area. This is the commercial district. Seems very busy. Oh, look at the amount of people waiting for the bus. It seems that I have not planned the bus lines correctly. I need to change that in the future, as always. That should be my motto by now, fix everything in the future. But anyway, here we have the most important part of our city. These leisure specialization buildings look very nice indeed with their red lights. They really look nice. And also the park, oh my god, look at this. It almost feels like it's too bright for a park, but it looks good nonetheless. Very good. And look at all the variety of lights that we have over here. We have yellow lights, white lights, blue lights. It looks amazing. And finally, here we have it, our most recently addition, the public transport hub. This is how it looks at nighttime. This building doesn't have any light yet because it's not activated. And if we go to the right side, we have our industrial sector. Okay. Also the most recent buildings, which have seemed to have zoned very well. But anyway guys, that will be it for today. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, it really helps out my channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to follow the development of this city. And finally, if you want to connect with me on social media, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have fun!